Hello, everybody, and welcome to Legends of Arcadia Genesis. I'm Koibu. I'll be your DM for the evening. We are going to be playing some Legends of Arcadia Genesis. Where did we leave off last week? Does anyone remember?
Somebody else's turn to do the recap.
Okay, so the party.
Hey, you have to ask how much XP you get first, okay?
Oh yeah, how much XP do I get? I need an amount really fast. Let me bargain with you really quickly here, Neal.
Why do you get experience at the start of a session?
I did last time get experience.
Hey Neal, I need 135.1 experience.
Yep,
I'll let you roll D200
legit.
for it.
Oh, yeah. That's spicy.
It's pretty good.
I would
All right.
take that roll, man.
would
That
as well.
sounds tight.
All right, so the party reconvened in Nyx's cave, where I've already forgotten all of our names. I'm gonna pause every time I have to mention a character. Where Kale was sleeping inside of the
your
cave,
name.
currently engrossed in a nightmare. After being woken up, the spell that Nyx had put on Kale had attracted some sort of like malevolent spirit creature. I think it was a giant spider. Or no, it was like a snake, right?
Spirit
It was
Naga.
a Naga?
Was it a naga?
Spirit
Okay.
Naga.
After chasing it off with an incredible punch from his fist of stone, the party gathered together and ventured out to collect some mushrooms down along the river, where we encountered a water near was what it was called.
Nerid?
Nerid, sure.
Getting close.
Mother.
I'm great at recaps, guys. The party, after having a bit of an encounter with that, collecting the ingredients that we needed, the party traveled back to the encampment, where we made some plans to continue building fortifications before seeing during the night that one of the outlying villages was on fire. Party made like an emergency travel plan over the night, went through the woods and then cut across the plains. We fought a couple of ogres and won the fight pretty handily. And then we arrived in the village, and there were too many ogres, so we just kind of hung back and waited for all the ogres to leave, and then did some just went through rescuing any survivors that we could find. When Malchus arrived in a more serious demeanor than we'd seen him before, and explained to us that this was our calling, and wished us good luck, gave us all a kiss on the forehead, and then he departed to go do other things.
Oh. We covered the ogre attack down and everything.
Yeah.
Cool. So, last we checked in with the party, you guys were talking about building this bridge. And I've been doing some math on the side.
Oh, you nailed it.
Did you get
Always good, right? Always good.
Oh, 7 XP. I'm so sorry, Kale.
Sean. Ooh,
That's what happens when you forget your own name.
Wait, Neal, wait. Because he did a good job, does he get advantage on the roll?
I didn't
No.
do a good job.
He gets a D200. This is what happens when you gamble.
71.9.
That's sad times.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
You know what? I'm at 2,371.9 XP, and I'm happy.
You guys have been talking about building a bridge. I've been doing some math to figure out what sort of resources you have available, and I've been digging around in the Castle Builder's Guide as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the town has about 24 hired laborers that work for the town that go around like fixing shit out in the town and the village and whatnot. And they are willing to give you half of their working crew to do stuff at the front because everyone knows you're the guardians of the valley in some way. And if you guys say they need a bridge, they believe you, and they'll give you half their labor force. Now, to build the bridge is going to take 72 man weeks. With 12 people going at it, that won't take that long. It'll just take a couple of weeks.
Is this time not? We can contribute labor,
Yes.
and I believe spellcasters can leverage spell slots too, right?
Yes, and I have been taking a lot of these things into account. So I've got some projections for us. But I did want to see if that was what you wanted to start with, because there was also talk of building a wall across the valley, which I also have calculations for. So the wall will take a lot longer because it's a 5-mile wall versus like a 100-foot bridge. So what would you like to start with?
Nick is muted. And Greg is not, but I
think the
we should
bridge
keep
is-
it that way.
Bridge is top priority, I would say.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I think we're building a bridge. Everything okay there, Greg?
Did you spill something?
Small emergency. It's okay. I
my
think we
God.
survived. Sorry.
You've been holding a book burning.
Huh?
what?
Were you holding a book burning? I heard like save the
nope.
books,
We just
save
had
the
to save
books.
them.
He spilled Coca-Cola on his books, I think.
No, I spilled hot tea. Lots and lots of
that's
hot
worse.
tea.
That's happened to me before on show as well.
Oh.
Try to find the episode. I'm not telling which one, but I was trying to dry everything while looking straight at the camera like this. So, yep.
Apologies.
Well,
So Greg, we've decided to work on building that bridge across the river.
Yeah, like you said in the disco chat. I think that's a good idea.
So it's going to take a while to build your bridge. You've got a work crew who will do it. Who are, they know enough about engineering to manage the thing. It's going to take a little while. So we're going to kind of skip around through time as you guys help this work crew build the bridge. But before we get too deep into this, what is your approach? Are you all like 100% workers, or are some of you going to be like 100% guards? Are you... How would you like to mobilize yourself and these other people for this project?
I think that June is a like shirt off manual labor kind of guy, right? Like he's not like if it's time to build a bridge, then he's in full like build a bridge mode.
I think
Makes
Kale
sense.
is too. He's got like 17 con, right? Like this guy has got a lot of physical stamina to go through here. So he's gonna like help carry things around. Like he's also an engineer, right? So he's probably helping to like draft the plans for how to build this thing and helping people like direct people on how to put it together. And then he's also getting personally involved as well, because I think he's got the physical like makeup for it.
So it sounds like everyone's going to pitch in with the construction project, and you're not going to have like a
I-
dedicated guard.
Are we
I don't
making
think
out
so.
of wood? Yeah.
I think we're all pitching in, but I don't know if narratively it's the same way. I can't imagine Izual shirt off, hammering nails or something.
There are many jobs.
really in their
Someone
skill
needs to
set
be the
and-
foreman, right?
Yeah, I think more serving as like emotional support, and they're staying a bit on watch, walking
Gonna need
amongst the people, placing hands on shoulders, and just radiating a general aura of, I don't know, divine
Leadership.
inspiration. Yes.
You'll have to harvest wood from the forest, because that's like the big wood source right there. So you'll be hacking down trees with you guys on guard and then hauling them back into the plains. How far from woods did you want to make your bridge?
I think where we were putting the like protections, right? Like there was that area on the river where there was palisades and trenches and things being built, right? I think like some hundreds of feet back from that probably makes sense.
So, I don't think we discussed this before, but how far from the woods do you want your wall to be, and then how far from the wall do you want your bridge to be? That way, I'll just have like a map, and I'll draw it out or something, and we'll have some ideas. But I'd like to get some facts and figures down.
Probably
want-
close but defensible, right? So like the closer to the woods we are, the easier access we have to building materials.
Mm-hmm.
But we want it to be set back, I don't know, at least 500 yards just for defensibility.
Sounds about right.
500 yards.
Something like that. Yeah.
I mean,
Perfect.
yeah, I'm in agreement with that.
And then that's from the woods to the wall. And how far from the wall to the bridge?
Is there any separation, or should we like build?
I
the
think it should be
wall-
back a little bit,
Yeah, a couple
but
of
not
hundred
as
yards.
much. Maybe like less than a football field.
Yeah.
50 yards? 75 yards?
Sure. Yeah, 50 yards seems about right.
Alright, so after a couple of days of working, a messenger arrives on horseback from Acropolis, looking for Kale. When he finds you, Mr. Kale, he will tell you that he's from the university.
Ooh.
And he has a message to deliver to you. And he takes his scroll, he unrolls it, and he reads his proclamation. By act of the Dean, we hereby place you on a 1 year of sabbatical. Your work at the front lines is far more important than your teachings here at the university, so please take your time to complete your mission. However, we will need you to continue your research. This must be a working sabbatical. We expect as much research on the anatomy, habits, life cycles, and ecology of the forest creatures as possible. This will be a working sabbatical. When you're done, we expect a full paper on it and you to teach a class on this subject next year.
Well, not quite what I was expecting, but I'll take it.
The messenger looks... Do you have a reply that I can deliver, sir?
Sure. Give me 15 minutes, and I'll go write a letter, and I head back to my house. That I presume we all have houses in the village, right?
Not quite yet. You guys have been kind of camping out on the front lines for a little while shenanigans have been going down. He'll
Okay,
go water
so we
his
don't
horse
necessarily
while
have like permanent residences yet. Okay,
Like,
I'll go find Manfred. Manfred knows where all my stuff is,
you will find Manfred.
and I dictate a letter for him to draft out for me. Just
Manfred
replying-
literate.
Of course, Manfred's literate.
The assistant to a professor. He has to be
Yeah,
literate.
I would guess. Yeah, I won't do the whole letter in like direct detail, but like just as like I'm on it. It'll be the best paper you've ever seen. It'll be the best class that's ever been taught.
The greatest attendance. The numbers are going to be huge. You won't
Yep.
believe the ratings this class is going to get.
Exactly.
Well, you send the letter back off. Bridge work continues as the weather takes a turn for the colder. A winter storm arrives. Temperatures drop. Not quite to freezing, but, you know, handful of degrees above. And it becomes apparent, as Kale was just mentioning a moment ago, that you need something a little bit closer to temporary housing. If it's going to be freezing outside, it's going to be a little hard to be building with you and these builders from town.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys want to do about semi-permanent housing, at least warm housing for the winter?
Are tents not sufficient?
Tents are
Like
not
I'm
going to be
imagining like a battle camp in the winter.
You're going
I
to need
think
some
we're just
sort of
gonna
like
have to-
heat source over the course of the night, probably.
So should we just look into building like some sort of communal housing that can serve as like a not exactly the same as a barracks because it would be open to like whoever needs it, right? But like we could build some sort of like longhouse for communal housing.
Instead of building the
Sounds-
bridge.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna have to delay on it because the winter's coming.
What
right?
is
Like,
everyone else living in?
That's kind of what
Are
I was
the
wondering. I
peasants
assumed
just
we were
freezing
like
their balls
created
off?
into a built village, but I guess that's not the case.
Well, you guys kind of appeared in town, and some of you have housing, right? You've got the university. Nyx
Oh yeah, it
has
would make
her
sense that I don't have a
cave.
house if I'm like a mistake.
Right. And everyone else in the village, like, they were created in their village, but you guys were the, like, guardians, so you're sort of homeless at the moment.
So
Well,
why don't
some of
we
you.
bomb in their village?
Yeah, that's kind of
That's a
Like,
very...
if
that's a
we do
legitimate
have like better
possibility.
housing options, so we might as well do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can go to the village that's on the north side of the river and ask around if there's a place for you to stay. And sure enough, there is an older gentleman here who has a nice large barn. He tells you that, well, you know, I've got room in my house, plenty to spare. My wife, rest her soul, died many years ago, leaving me here alone. Weird, you know, I've never seen her face.
You've been alive for more than checks watch 2 weeks.
He shakes his head. No, of course not. I'm brand new, like the rest of you. But my wife is dead and has been for many years. While I can't remember what she looks like.
Sometimes
never
I think
seen her
Malchus is quite the
face.
son of a bitch.
I remember the touch of her hands, the warmth of her cheeks, the softness of her fingers on mine. I'd like to help someone. I think that might ease my pain. So please come into my barn. Got room for all of you. I'll take you to a little hayloft. Actually, it's a rather large hayloft. She's got some pigs down there, some donkeys, maybe a couple chickens, a pair of dogs as well. I'd be happy to put you up.
Right, sounds good.
Enough. Is there room for all 12 laborers as well?
12 laborers, the 5 of you, and Manfred. But you'll all be sort of like sleeping in a barn, right? So you can pile under the hay. The animal heat will keep you warm as well. But it's not like super nice settings. You know, it's kind of a little rough. But it will solve your problems in the...
And it's probably not much worse than when we were camping out in the wilderness.
Yeah. Yeah. And now you're like in the town. You're not just out in the middle of nowhere. It's a little...
Yeah, and like we were all created 2 weeks ago. We don't know what it's like to live in luxury.
How
Except
far
for
is
you,
the
Mr. Professor.
How far is the village from my cave?
About 5 miles. About 1 hex.
Oh, could we all just pile in the Nick's cave?
It would have been a possibility.
5 miles is quite far to walk, though.
That's a bit of a putt.
I think
There
it's
I'm
a
back.
it's a good place where we can stop. Like we can always stop over if we're on our way to the forest though and take it as a
Yeah.
camping ground there. You know?
Yeah.
I like it.
Unless people are afraid of walking in there, but otherwise.
We only got attacked by a horrific monster once. I'm sure it's
Yeah, and one good punch from a fist of stone, and it went fleeing with its tail between its legs.
I'm sure it was the punch. Yes.
Twitch chat never changed.
Eventually, a light snow begins to fall here in the heart of winter, the late January, as time begins to roll on. One evening, you are awoken. You're sleeping in this barn. It's snowing outside. It's like nice and peaceful and quiet. When all of a sudden, this pig starts squealing. I guess that's a noise a pig makes. And dogs start barking.
I'm gonna sit up. That's a bad sign because this is not just in the barn, right? The dogs barking are coming from outside and everything
The
too.
pig squealing is not even from in the barn. It's like from maybe the next barn over or something.
Okay, yeah. I sit up. I'll probably start waking anyone who hasn't already gotten up, and then
Everyone's being alerted by this ridiculously loud pig, and all of a sudden the dogs in the background.
I'll head out to go take a look.
Yeah, I'll go with him. Is this Ogre's?
It's possible. Let's go. Let's find out.
I think rather than going to look, I take the opportunity while they're looking to don armor.
You slide open the barn door, step out into the night air. A little bit of snow falling on the ground. It's just a thin covering. You can hear the crunching of a large creature and the squealing of the pig. And as you peer around the corner of the barn, sure enough, there is an ogre who has come to town and has picked up one pig under his right arm, one pig under his left arm, and is now marching through the street of town on the way back to the forest. You are between the ogre and the woods at this moment, but not
Beast!
for long.
Release our pigs, you fiend of death.
Ogre turns to look at you with a dumb face.
Hmm?
And he continues to
around.
march past you, or in
No,
your direction.
let's do something. Oh, he's coming towards us. Okay.
Yeah, he's headed towards the woods, but you're between him and the woods.
I
How
cast
far
a
away is
spell.
he?
I take out a piece of white cloth and a little jar of tree sap and put some sap on the ends and cast aid on myself.
It's about
Quite
20 yards.
Okay, so close. Have we been building a bridge all day?
You have been.
It's been a while, right, since the last session. Like
Yeah,
we've
it's been weeks.
gathered spells and everything. Okay. Yeah.
You'd have all the spells that you need.
Would we though? I feel like we've been using our spells to build the bridge.
I haven't. I mean, maybe I've used metamorphose liquids if that's somehow useful, but like otherwise, I don't have anything that would be useful in building a bridge.
The rules don't care. They base your effectiveness and construction based on spell slots, not what the actual spells are. But
If it's been some time, could I? 'Cause I hit level 3 last session. Could I have picked up some new spell components, or depending on what they are?
Depending on what they are. Did you have anything?
Yeah, specifically. Could I have got some pine cones? I assume that would have been okay.
That's fine. Yep.
A warhammer.
A warhammer?
Yeah.
You know, that spell component.
Drops from the tree all the time.
It is a spell component. It's a spell component for spiritual hammer. Maybe that one's a little bit more
Tree.
difficult.
I mean, I think you just need to buy it.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't been back to Acropolis is the thing.
Right, but you could have sent Manfred to do it in one of these weeks. The question is, do you have the money for it?
I've got no gold, so no.
Well, I guess you're short of work.
Once again, Neal refuses to give out
What is
treasure
it?
and then
What
asks
is
if we
it,
have cash.
wait, no, there's more though. Oh, I don't know.
What does the Warhammer cost?
I have no idea.
I would guess a few gold.
Isn't it? If it,
Hold on.
15.
Neal put everything together on like one sheet, but is
Yeah,
it
Six
yeah,
gold,
yeah.
5 silver.
6 gold, 5 silver. It's paid for.
Okay, so I've got one more hammer for that. Nice.
See, there's money.
what about-
Consumed in the
uh,
casting?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Only
What about,
because Greg didn't buy anything at character creation except for his sword and.
No, it's because I sold Sean's acid.
Oh, that's right.
I'm glad that we.
It's okay, I can make you more acid.
Right. See? Sean agrees.
What about a straight piece of iron, Neil?
Yep. But
easy is
pay
that?
out half a gold for each straight piece of iron.
Okay, can we get like
Did we
3
ever
of those?
get anything from the mushrooms? Leaves? What did we harvest
Oh,
for
the
the
coca
gnome?
leaves?
Coca
yeah.
leaves.
Yeah, I guess you got to go back to Acropolis to deliver them.
Okay.
You could have sent them back with Manfred, but then he would have to find the guy. I don't think he would be.
Okay, and the last 2
Fantastic.
should be easier. Sumac leaf. I mean, I just need a leaf to cast Flame Blade. It says sumac. I don't know if sumac grows here.
Stealing my thunder.
Oh, you
Oh
doing
my-
the same thing?
No, I'm not level 3 yet. That was gonna be my shtick, and that was gonna be a whole quest of mine.
No. Tell you what.
It's fine.
No,
it's
I won't.
fine.
I won't cast it. I won't cast it. I'm deleting it. What about oak bark? Oak bark.
Yeah,
Bark
no
stimulation.
problem.
That's easy to find. Okay, cool. All right. Well, I cast 8 anyway. I get 7 health points.
Nix, you didn't level already, did you? Did you get your spells?
Well, I didn't want to choose spells like this. I wanted them to be like one
Yeah.
at least to be quest related, and then to
As-
roll for the others.
As we
so,
discussed, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have ideas of what you want and what you're doing?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we'll deal with that later. Great, so you've got your spells. This ogre is coming down through the streets of town, carrying a pig that is stolen, clearly from the neighbor next door. The dogs are going off, the pigs are squealing. You cast aid. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm going to be opening with a spell here for because I have Abaddon with me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna cast a spell to like create an opening for Abaddon.
Okay.
Perfect.
Did I have enough time to don armor before the shouting started, or am I still mid-don?
Is your armor just a chain?
My armor is as follows. My armor is chain limbs, a leather chest piece, and that's it.
Absolutely.
Tits. All right, so I'm drawing the big sword and charging in.
Right. So, Kale cast aid on himself.
I did not.
No. No,
Abaddon
Abaddon
does.
cast aid on himself. Kale is going to create an opening for Abaddon. June has donned his armor and is pulling out his sword. What are you doing, Azul and Nix?
I feel I'm having trouble getting out of character. I feel like I would not have had time to put on my armor, and I feel like all of my spell slots are dispel fatigue. So I think I will just take my spear and go to intercept the ogre.
And Nix?
I want to move, I think,
Where?
between my group and the ogre.
You want to place yourself in front of the ogre?
Yeah.
Alright. Those of you that were about to charge in combat, are you going to run past Nix, or are you going to let Nix do Nix?
I don't think anyone's Did anyone charge? I think
One
I am
yeah.
charging. I am specifically charging.
Okay.
Well, I guess.
Shall we
Nix,
just
you go to
roll?
step
Let's roll it. It's
forward.
20
and then
yards away.
June-
Let's
We're
just roll it
rolling,
right
right?
past
Whoever
you.
goes.
Yeah,
we just
whoever
roll
goes first
initiative?
goes first. This
Yeah,
might
we
be
can roll
bad.
initiative. That's fine.
Although I think, yeah, it'll hopefully be fine. Hey, okay, that's good.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
All
Nice
right,
roll.
the ogre will roll a 9 on initiative.
All right. So Kale,
everybody-
being one of the first people to see this ogre, is gonna step forward and reach into his sleeve where he's got a bunch of like hidden pouches along like the end of like the interior of his coat sleeve, and he's gonna unbuckle one of these pouches and fling his wrist forward, which causes like 3 different colors of different sands to take into the air. And then he blows into the sand, which creates a large cloud of a multicolored spray that is going to travel straight to this ogre. And it needs to make a saving throw versus spell against color spray.
All right. You open up with a color spray. The ogre will roll a 13 on a saving throw.
I don't think that does it. Might actually.
Essentially a 5 hit die creature. 14 is what he needed. So I believe
Oof,
he's
okay.
stunned for 1 round.
Stunned for a round, yeah. So I don't know what bonus that gives anybody to hit or damage, but he should at least drop the pigs.
Isn't he only blinded if he's higher?
No,
level?
blind.
Yeah.
So it goes unconscious, blinded, stunned. Stunned is the lowest tier.
Okay.
I don't know what bonus that gives. I would guess probably like a +2 since blinded is
4, I think.
Target is stunned, +4 to hit.
Oh, cool. Okay. And then it'll probably drop the pigs as well because it's not able to think or act.
Yeah, I'll give him a check to see if he drops the pigs. Fail and fail. Yep, each arm slips. A pig tumbles to the ground, oinks in pain, and scurries off on its little hooves.
Run, piggies.
Next up is Nyx.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna step in front of the flailing ogre, I guess, or he's stunned, so he's not really flailing. But I'm gonna step in front of the ogre and between the ogre and my group, and I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna look at Izual, and I'm gonna say, if we ever wanted to figure out what these ogres are up to without killing them, this is our chance. I'll leave it up to you, I say, and I'll look over to Izual. And that's all I do.
Pause and consider this.
Abaddon.
I mean, I'm not going to kill it with 1 attack. I'd run up to it and smash it in the... Can I get... I mean, it's not moving, so I can get behind it, right? Or I get +4 anyway.
You get
'cause it's
+4 from the stun. Yeah, that'll...
Okay. Rolling to hit, I guess I'll just add the +4 on myself like this. No, that didn't work, but it should be
Flail's gonna hit.
16. It should be a 21. But
Well, that'll still hit.
not crit? No, I guess he's gone.
No, it doesn't. It's not a natural 18.
So d6 +2 damage because of bless. Well, 8 damage.
You whap the ogre. It tumbles to the ground, lying prone in the snow, bleeding from the wound that you just cracked in the ribs. The ribs are clearly broken underneath, and there's like some sort of internal bleeding that's causing a massive bruise to swell across the body as the ogre like lands in the snow, stunned. June.
So is
kill
it dead?
right here?
Like, does it immediately look dead?
No, it's still moving and groaning, but it's stunned and now like badly damaged.
Okay, so here's what I want to do. I'm charging this thing, and then I kind of hear Nyx being like, "Let's save it," and I'm like, "Okay, I know what to do." And it topples down, right? So I go into full charge. I go into like a baseball slide with my sword behind me, and as I am sliding past its head, I like punch it with the pommel of my sword, trying to knock it out. Right? I'm doing like a non-lethal sliding pommel strike. Because that's a thing you can do in D&D.
Yes, it is. You'll make your attack at +4 for it being stunned and prone. -4 for you trying to do non-lethal.
All right.
And then you hit.
Are stunned and prone not cumulative?
Ooh.
I would
Kinda
guess
should
no,
be.
because the gist of stunned is that you're totally helpless and unable to act. Although I guess you could make an argument that if it's totally unable to act, it should probably be an auto hit because there's no other combatants around. So there's no
Right. So I don't think stunned is totally helpless. I think stunned and invisibility won't stack, but maybe stunned and prone will stack.
I
Because
think
someone
that
on the
it's
ground
more
is-
likely I should just get a +2 from charging.
Oh yeah, you get a +2 from charging as well.
And high ground, right? If he's on the ground, at the very least, right?
That's
I'm
the
baseball
+4 for
sliding,
someone
so
being
we're on
prone.
even ground.
The high ground memes will never die. I hate them so much.
I would have to jump off a cliff to get high ground in this
That's
situation.
what you did it yourself, Neal.
No, you're
Awesome
standing
play.
up, Greg, which means that you're above the ogre, which means you have high ground.
Just roll your d20. All right, I think you end up with a total bonus of 6 plus level bonuses or whatever. You should get.
So that's a 23
That's a
minimum.
crit, I think.
I do believe you will non-lethally crit the ogre.
Nice. So as I slide by, I'm just like, the Viper Strike! Bam! I just punch him in the face for 16 non-lethal damage.
Holy
Viper
shit.
strike.
Holy
There
shit.
are times when a character wants
That's a
to do
bad concussion right there.
wrestling, overbearing.
I'm
weapon.
like striking with my sword non-lethally, right? Like I'm using the
Yeah.
pommel of my
Right.
sword.
You unscrew the pommel and you throw it. Easy.
I think this just does half that damage, and if it KOs him, he knocks out. The other
The
option
damage-
was to do a sap or something, which has a % chance to
Okay.
KO.
Yes,
So
this is
half-
I'm pretty sure it's
normal,
half damage.
I think
Half
this
of
damage.
16,
So
so I
it does
do
8
eight. I
damage,
do
and if he's
eight.
reduced to 0, he's unconscious.
Yeah, so you do 8 real damage, 8 temporary damage to the ogre, who
I think
has...
it's 8 damage, and four of that is temporary.
I'm pretty sure you do half damage if you're. I'll double check, but I think.
Oh, no,
non-
you're right. The damage from
not-
such attack is 50% normal. 1/2 of this damage is temporary. So
Yes.
it's 8 damage, 4 real, 4 temporary to an ogre who was at 2 hit points. So he's not dead, but he is unconscious and bleeding. Because even the 4 real will bring him to like -2. So like you
All right.
power slide into the ogre, crack him in the face, break his jaw, and now it's just like blood gushing out, like a broken
He
bone
like
in the
knocks
jaw.
some teeth out over the side. He's just like. All right. Kale doesn't know first aid, so he's gonna go into the barn and start looking around for some rope that we can use for bindings if we're.
There's rope
capturing
in the
them alive.
barn. Yes.
Are we really going to try and save this thing? I say, standing above its bloodied corpse.
We went through the trouble.
I'll,
Doesn't that be
Seems-
helpful?
I throw my
It seems to
flail
me
down to
that
the
Nyx
floor.
has desired to speak with it. Of what I've
Wow.
seen of her magic, I suspect we can find some interesting answers.
Very well, I hope this is worth it.
You can still kill it if you're not happy with the answers we're getting, right?
I don't know how you treat broken ribs and a smashed jaw, but I do
Or
my
maybe it's
best,
time
yeah.
to learn it then, because we might get some of those in the future ourselves, huh?
Yeah. No, I mean like Nick. I don't know how to narrate it. But I do whatever it is that you would do to help
Well,
someone.
maybe it's time to learn it, Nick. Read up on that shit. You never know when you're gonna use it.
WebMD, Nick, let's go.
Just typing furiously into Google how to treat broken ribs urgent.
Put ice on the area to ease the pain. Pain medicine. Neither of these are helping me right now. Take deep breaths to avoid pneumonia. All right, time to breathe deeply.
Yeah. Oh, what a tip.
The broken
Oh,
rib
jeez.
punctures the lung. The ogre drowns in his own fluids. Deep.
Should I roll a healing check or can I just stabilize him?
Please. Healing check.
But I can do it without a check on it if I'm a proficient healer.
I suppose
Yes.
that's correct. But he is an ogre. You know, he's not a normal creature.
Easy.
There you go.
Humanoid.
Yeah,
Ogres
but
are
it's
just
like the
big
scale
people.
of the problem. It's like a lot harder to do chest compressions on an ogre than it is on a person.
I
If that
don't
were
think
what
you
you were
should do
doing.
chest
Yeah,
compressions.
that's
I
a good
don't think
idea.
you need to do chest compressions here. I was using that as an example. You know,
Okay.
the scale of the ogre is such that
Although-
you might take a proficiency check.
Isn't that like a thing though that chest compressions do often break ribs?
Yes.
It is. So it's
Still
already
right.
half the work's already been done. What just happened to Sean?
Oh no.
He's dropped his camera again, just like last.
1 second.
Well, he's dead, apparently.
We're so
Rip.
professional, guys.
He's gone back to the university.
Yep.
Kale stubbed his toe really fucking hard. He'll be right back, guys.
Did you like stub your toe and then knock your camera off in rage?
I think Kale is unconscious on the ground temporarily from the excitement of the
He's
situation.
disappeared to the barn to try and get some rope or something.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, he's digging around for rope.
This is an accurate picture of Sean now, actually, on Zoom.
Well, you have succeeded in rending the ogre unconscious and helpless, and are beginning to tie it up. Azul, you're the only one who didn't get an action, hopping in at the end.
I think Izul and Nyx are sitting back from the whole mess, having a conversation. Right? She had said something about this is our chance to speak with it, and Izul will consider and reply. These ogres are creations of pure evil, the children of Verasi. Death in the flesh. But if you wish to know the mind of your enemy, I can facilitate.
You know, Iswald, it is sometimes hard to tell because you have so much more experience with all these things around us. And I can take your word and just believe that these are evil creatures, you know, yada yada, children of death. But we are, like, not you, but us. We are children of chaos, you know. And everything that happened so far was us going there, tricking an ogre who was swimming in a pool and playing into coming closer to us and then murdering it on the mountainside, luring another one away from their group and then killing it in front of our traps, and then having one to come in for an honorable duel that we also killed in the end. It doesn't look like we're doing the good work either. You know, I do understand that we are on opposite sides. I do get that, believe me, but we're also all just pawns right now, and maybe the pawns should sometimes talk without the king and queen present, you know?
You truly are a creature of chaos.
Oh yeah, it's my inherent charm, what can I say?
Yes, this is for you to decide. But don't feel too bad for the ogres. Is it wrong to kill a fox before it gets to your hens?
Well, that depends on which philosophical worldview you ascribe to.
Kale comes back from
Comes
the
out
barn
of the
with
barn.
You know, Nyx, why don't you do your questioning, and I can explain the situation to Izual in terms of different.
Kale, throw me that rope.
Oh, yep, here. I toss it to him.
I start tying the ogre up, Neal, and all the things we know. Everyone, like the baker knows how to bake bread intrinsically. We know how to fight with our weapons intrinsically, right? Like, it seems like that we've been given the skills that we were meant to have, right?
Right.
You have a rope
Okay.
use proficiency?
Well, I have a torturing proficiency, so as I'm tying this ogre up, I start to get these ideas about like what I'm going to do to it, and I start to feel a little bit disturbed, and I take a dagger out from my belt once it's tied up, and I like sort of slowly like trace it up the ogre's stomach up to its head, and whisper in its ear and say, "Once this is over, you're gonna wish that the witch let me kill you." And then I'll stand back and say to Nyx, "All right, it's ready for your questioning."
I think with that, we should go to our first break.